Now on Coast TV News.
Guard Gap grows with tourists still swimming in its waters. How Ocean City Beach Patrol is working through the challenges of a smaller staff.
Moratorium reaction. We hear from people in Dagsboro as town officials consider changes to development.
The summer heat will increase today into Saturday, then a chance of showers and storms Saturday evening. Some of those could be strong to severe, then a cloudy and cooler Sunday. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up next.
Eagles win opener.
And they run Barkley inside. Saquon touchdown.
The big night for the Birds in a game that ended after midnight.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Friday, September 5th, 2025.
Yeah, Lisa, and how many of the Eagle fans out there actually made it to the end of the game? It wrapped up about 12:15, about six hours ago.
Well, I've met those Philly fans. They're pretty dedicated, so I'm going to say they went to bed at 12:16.
And hopefully they got up at 6 a.m. to watch you, myself, and First Alert meteorologist Bob Schreihe, because he's got the weather to help you get out the door this morning. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. And getting out the door this morning, we're looking at dry conditions. It's mild and muggy, and we're not dealing with too much fog. Now, the visibility is 9 miles in Cambridge, maybe some haze there. But I think we're okay as far as the fog goes this morning. Temperatures into the mid to upper 60s, low 70s at the beaches. So maybe just a windbreaker. That's about it, as we're looking at a little bit of a wind, a little bit of a breeze at the coast right now. Otherwise, clear skies all across Delmarva. Maybe a little bit of fog from Annapolis back through D.C. Otherwise, there is a front back to the west, and we're looking at, we're on the warm side of this front, and we're looking at a southwesterly breeze that will really keep us feeling like summer today. Temperatures in the 60s out the door, mid-morning low 70s, and then low 80s by noon. At the beaches, you're warming up, 70s to even lower 80s, I think, this afternoon. 85 in Rehoboth, 86 in Millsboro and Delmar. And for your Friday evening activities, looking great. Temperatures in the 70s. But on the muggy side, in this afternoon, it's going to be feeling like low 90s away from the coast at times. So make sure you stay hydrated. It's been a while since we've seen this kind of warmth. And your ferry riding forecast, refreshing. It's going to be breezy, pleasant temperatures in the 70s, then into the 80s. In fact, mid 80s by early afternoon.
All right, thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour is out of Cambridge. That is where a suspect is dead after he was shot by a police officer. It took place just after 5 last night. So let's show you where this occurred. According to Cambridge police, officers responded to the Deep Harbor development. That was around Seaway Lane in Riverview Wharf. They say there were reports of a man chasing a woman with a knife.
And here's what we are learning from the Cambridge Police Department. Officers found the man and tried to de-escalate the situation. They say he refused and made his way towards the officers. According to police, after several warnings, an officer shot the man. Life-saving measures were then taken. The man was flown to Tidal Health Peninsula Regional Medical Center in Salisbury, where he later died. This is a developing story, and we will provide more updates when more information becomes available. And more details about this story out of Cambridge can be found on CoastTV.com.
We are learning about a fire yesterday morning in Milford. This occurred at the First State Compassion Marijuana Cultivation Center. This is the same facility that Delaware Governor Matt Meyer toured at the end of July. That was right before the recreational marijuana market opened in the state. According to run logs, that was just after 8 a.m., the Carlisle Fire Company, Ellendale Volunteer Fire Company, and Frederica Volunteer Fire Company, they responded to the fire. We do not have details about the extent of the damage.
Post-Labor Day in Ocean City, and a number of the town's lifeguards are returning to school, leaving the beach patrol with a limited staff. According to the patrol, only a third of their staff remains at this point, and due to those staffing numbers, they say the distance between the lifeguard stands could increase to more than 800 yards or half a mile. That is something one beachgoer told us that he is keeping in mind.
If you're going in the water, I believe they should be here. You should be here with the lifeguards. If you're a really good swimmer, but you never know with the currents.
And the Beach Patrol recommends to only swim in front of a lifeguard. This morning, they're reporting 24 lifeguard stands are staffed for the day.
It's a bit of a nerve-wracking game in Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley, Elisa's second favorite Penn Stater, rushed for the go-ahead touchdown late in the first half. The Eagles hang on for a 24-20 win, and we'll have more on this game later on Coast TV News Today.
Who's going first, Matt?
Me.
A building moratorium was up for discussion in Dagsboro last night, and Coast TV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us why the town is considering limiting new construction.
We do have a moratorium on building right now and building permits. As part of that, in order to be responsible, the town is trying to take a look at some of the fees and the impact fees that we have and plan for how that could look in the future. So today we're really been reevaluating those, seeing what our current fees look like, our fee structures, and then how potentially we can alter or change those in order to make sure that as the town continues to grow, like many of the towns around here, we do so in a fiscally responsible way.
Love the history of it. They love keeping it the same. It's just good old Dagsboro is what everyone continues to say. So we'd love to try to keep that the same as much as we can.
Really, the ultimate goal is that we don't have major changes. I think we've heard a lot from the town. We've heard a lot from the people here. I think people really enjoy Dagsboro. It's a small town, but there's a lot of charm. How do we make sure that we balance the growth that the entire state is seeing right now, but also in a way that allows us to continue to keep that Dagsboro charm and continue to keep the current what is Dagsboro feeling.
People just love the feeling of the restaurant, walking down the street, everything just, staying the same. Not too many more businesses is what you keep hearing.
Everyone is just like a big old family, and I love that.
Happening this afternoon, members of Delaware's congressional delegation will get a first-hand look at the Indian River Inlet damage from high surf conditions. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers scheduled to show Senator Chris Coons and Representative Sarah McBride the restoration projects along the bridge and beaches. Army Corps is using over $8 million in state and federal money to replenish and protect the inlet and Route 1 from big storms.
And that is one of at least 2 stops McBride is making today in Sussex County. At 5 p.m. she is scheduled to attend a community meeting with the organization Speak Out Against Hate. According to the organization, Representative McBride will deliver brief remarks and participate in a Q&A moderated by the Speak Out Vice President and Treasurer Alan Slan.
New this morning, the Delaware DMV says a new registration fee for alternative fuel vehicles takes effect on October 1st. According to the DMV, the fee is in addition. It's in addition to the standard annual vehicle registration fees, and this applies to electric, plug-in, hybrid, and other alternative fuel types such as hydrogen, natural gas, and propane. Payments can start next month. The DMV says failure to pay by November 1st will result in the denial of all its services. And according to the DMV, the fee helps pay for road maintenance and improvements.
Well, Powerball fever is heading into the weekend. The jackpot has jumped to $1.7 billion, and that is because no winner matched all 6 numbers in Wednesday's drawing, according to the Multi-State Lottery Association. The next drawing is tomorrow night. It will be the 3rd largest jackpot in U.S. lottery history. Your odds of winning are about 1 in 292.2 million. And we're just getting started this morning on Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Capitol Hill clash. How sparks were flying in several exchanges between senators and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. during a Thursday hearing.
And emergency drill today. What Salisbury University students and staff need to know about an alarm scheduled for later this morning. Coast TV News Today. We'll be right back.
Coming up on 6:11 on our Friday morning, FH for Cam in Cambridge. Look at that water, glass, calm conditions, just a few clouds out there. The visibility is good. It's down to 9 miles in Cambridge, but I think for the most part, we're in good condition. Not seeing that fog like we saw the past couple of mornings. Mid 60s out the door, inland areas, lower 70s at the coast, so pretty mild with a light breeze right now. And we're going to see that sunshine today. A little bit of fog farther back to our west, but it's going to be a sunny and very warm day. Drivecast looking good. I gave you the green light to and from work. Dry and mild this morning, and then warm and humid this afternoon. Temperatures well into the 80s, but watch for that hot car again into the afternoon hours.
Thank you, Bob. This morning, Salisbury University says it has scheduled an emergency alert exercise at approximately 10 a.m. University police will activate the campus's emergency siren, which will broadcast pre-recorded messages pertaining to the situation. Alerts will also go to office and classroom computers, emails, SU video monitors, and text notifications.
On your screen right now, we're going to show you Griffith Lake Drive between Williamsville Road and Meadowbrook Lane in Milford. DelDOT says this area will close later this month due to painting of the bridge over Griffith Lake Spillway. That work starts on September 16th and is expected to wrap up by mid-October.
Good news for home buyers as mortgage rates continue to trend down. On Thursday, Freddie Mac said that the average rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage fell to 6.5% last week. That's down from 6.56% the week before. Thursday's report is also good news for those looking to refinance. According to Freddie Mac, 47% of mortgage applications were for refinancing options. That's the highest since October.
All right, Lego fans, check this one out. They've unveiled a new Star Wars Death Star set, and may the Force be with your wallet. The set is part of Lego's Ultimate Collector Series. It's also the most expensive Lego set. It will cost you about $1,000. The set has over 9,000 pieces, and this makes it the largest Star Wars set to date. The Death Star set will be released early next month.
We're seeing a beautiful sunrise in Laurel right now. Sun's up in about 20 minutes, and get ready for a summer-like day with the heat and humidity intensifying today. That continues into Saturday, and then we're watching for strong to possibly severe storms later Saturday, then a cooler and cloudy Sunday. Your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:15. Let's get a live look now at the sunrise at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. Just starting to come up there. And the cooler temperatures, Bob, were nice earlier in the week, but summer is here. It's saying, I'm still here.
Yeah, that's right. And I wonder how long it's going to take for folks to say, you know, I'm getting really sick of this heat. I wish the cool weather would come back. Well, we're going to be in the heat for a few days. Then it does cool down on Sunday. Now, today through Saturday, it's warm and breezy, highs in the 80s. Feels like temperatures low to mid 90s. And heads up tomorrow evening, I do have a yellow alert for strong storms, maybe even severe. More on that coming up. And then Sunday, clouds a little cooler and highs into the 70s. Temperatures now, not bad. Mid 60s inland, 64 in Delmar, Millsboro 65, Lewis 69, 70 in Bethany Beach right now. And no wind inland areas, just a little bit of a southwest breeze at the coast. As we're looking at clear skies, there could be some isolated pockets of fog. It looks like maybe some fog building through Baltimore, Annapolis, and D.C. So we do have that slight chance in the next hour, but then it'll quickly burn off as we're in a strong southwesterly flow, as we have one frontal boundary back to our west through New England into the Ohio Valley, and then another stronger front across the Midwest. They're seeing their first snow of the season across northern Minnesota, so really cold air behind this front, and it's this front that will trigger that potential for severe weather as we go into tomorrow evening. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're warming through the 60s and then into the 70s mid-morning by noon. 83 in Salisbury, 82 in Selbyville. If you're headed to the beaches today, pretty good looking beach day with mid to upper 70s there. 76 in Dewey Beach at 3:30, around 78 in Bethany Beach. And heading into your Friday evening, looking good. Temperatures falling through the 70s, mostly clear overnight. A mild start Saturday morning with low 70s, and another warm day tomorrow, mid 80s late morning, and I think we're close to 90 inland areas into the afternoon. And then we are tracking that cold front back to our west that starts to move in Saturday evening. Heavy rain, maybe large hail, and maybe some damaging winds with this system as it's moving through. And then Sunday, a cloudy day with areas of drizzle with a north breeze, kind of a dreary day. And this model showing us barely getting out of the 60s as it remains kind of cloudy into Sunday evening. Low chance of severe weather, about a marginal chance. Crisfield to Salisbury, maybe up to about Lewis, and then points west. Damaging winds and large hail, a possibility tomorrow evening, so be weather aware. Feeling like temperatures in the low 90s this afternoon away from the coast, 80s at the beaches, and even hotter tomorrow. If you're headed to the Shore Living Expo, whatever you're doing, really take it slow. Feeling like mid 90s. Actual temperatures this afternoon, upper 80s from Seaford to Milford, Eastern Shore, 83 in Easton, 88 in Vienna, and at least there will be a breeze from the southwest. 85 for Pocomoke City with 88 in Berlin, and then 86 into Chincoteague. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, pretty warm, upper 80s through the next couple of days, and then watching for that potential of strong to severe storms Saturday evening. Sunday, cloudy, cooler 72. We've got Sunday Night Football on Coast TV as Ryan's Ravens are taking on the Bills in Buffalo, and then mid 70s and dry next week, and overnight lows in the 50s.
Thank you, Bob. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. this morning, where on Thursday it got heated during a hearing with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle challenging Kennedy on vaccine policy.
Yeah, as NBC's Alice Barr shows us, accusations were directed to and came right back from Senator Kennedy.
And you won't answer that question.
I answered it.
Fiery moments on Capitol Hill.
You're so wrong on your facts.
You're interrupting me, and sir, you're a charlatan.
As Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. faced a flood of questions from senators in both parties about controversial moves at the nation's top public health agencies, especially on vaccines.
You are a hazard to the health of the American people.
Republican Bill Cassidy, himself a physician, pointing to new restrictions on COVID vaccine approvals for only older and high-risk Americans. Pharmacies now requiring prescriptions in many states or not offering the shots at all.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
The secretary, a longtime vaccine skeptic, defending his policy moves, and the firing of Centers for Disease Control Director Dr. Susan Menares after only a month on the job.
And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her.
We are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job.
He also replaced members of a key vaccine advisory committee with vaccine skeptics and canceled some mRNA vaccine contracts. Another Republican physician on the committee also voicing concerns.
Americans don't know who to rely on.
Secretary Kennedy adamant the CDC made critical mistakes during the pandemic.
And its disastrous and nonsensical policies destroyed small businesses, violated civil liberties.
Though he could not answer how many Americans died from COVID.
You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
The nation's health secretary under fire, still getting the critical backing of President Trump. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Said he didn't have a chance to watch the hearing, but he said he likes that Kennedy has different ideas.
From arts on the boardwalk to a powwow in Milton, your cool things to do are coming up next.
Today in Lewis, the University of Delaware is conducting a study about coastal resilience, specifically nuisance flooding. That is a form of flooding that occurs in low-lying areas at high tide. Also, the steps that Lewis officials are taking to improve coastal resilience. This is open to the City of Lewis property owners and renters. The Coastal Resilience Workshop runs from 8:30 a.m. to noon at the Lewis Public Library.
Happening this weekend, it's the Shore Living Expo. The event celebrates health, wealth, and home on Delmarva. The free family-friendly event takes place Saturday, September 6th at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And this week we have been showing you the effects of the monsoon storm in the southwest U.S. So here is the latest. Check out the airport in Phoenix, and we are seeing a wall of dust moving in from strong winds. Last week, 17 flights were delayed in one day due to gusts reaching 70 miles per hour.
All right, Matt. Well, it's going to be a good weekend, not only because Rutgers plays this weekend, but it's also going to be warm outside. Those are your two favorite things, warm weather and Rutgers.
You know me so well. You work together with somebody, they just get you.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, I want to talk waves, tracking the waves. That continues to be what looks like the only downer on a great beach day.
Yeah.
I want to hear you guys locking horns some more about
No,
your teams.
we're aligned here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Scarlet
good.
and
On the same wavelength, that's good.
Black, white.
Black and white. Yes.
Well, Matt, no tasty waves. I think your tasty wave criteria is probably like 4 to 6 feet. We're looking at about 2 to 3 feet today with upper 70s in Chincoteague, upper 70s in Assateague, lots of sunshine. One of the warmest days we've seen in some time at the coast. And then farther up the beaches, up farther north, Falmouth Island, you're in the low 80s today and close to 80 in Ocean City. That rip current threat is moderate, so make sure you swim at guarded beaches or with a buddy. And the Bay forecast today, it's upper 80s in Cambridge. Watch for evening storms, not only Cambridge, but everybody tomorrow evening. And then cooling down and cloudy on Sunday. Similar conditions in Crisfield. I think you too will see storms tomorrow evening and drizzle and cooler heading into Sunday. So changeable weather the next few days. Much more in your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Well, local summer is in full swing, and this weekend brings annual favorites plus some new events. And CoastTV's Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
I've got a tongue twister for you this week. Shop small, fall crawl. That's what's happening in Millsboro Saturday at American Legion Post 28 from 10 to 3. More than 75 vendors, a scavenger hunt, and a DJ all in store. In Ocean City, Seafood Week begins Saturday. More than 20 local restaurants are participating, serving signature seafood dishes from crab cakes, lobster rolls, oysters, and more. The 47th annual Nanacoke Indian Powwow brings culture, dance, and food to Hudson Fields in Milton both weekend days. It's an official state of Delaware recognized event focused on preserving indigenous culture and traditions. Another annual event returns to the Bethany Beach Boardwalk Saturday, the Bethany Beach Arts Festival, showcasing the work of more than 100 artists. That's from 10 to 5 p.m. And don't forget to check out the Shore Living Expo at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center from 10 to 4 Saturday. You can celebrate all things that make Delmarva a great place to live. For more details, just head over to CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Kiko churns stronger. The areas in the Pacific bracing from a Category 4 hurricane.
Coverage concerns with tourists still swimming in its waters, how Ocean City's Beach Patrol is working through the challenges of a smaller staff.
The summer heat will increase today into Saturday, then a chance of showers and storms Saturday evening. Some of those could be strong to severe, then a cloudy and cooler Sunday. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up next.
Paper checks ending, how the plan from the Treasury Department affects veterans and Social Security recipients.
This is Coast TV News Today.
September 5th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, at 6:30 a.m. we got Friday vibes in effect. I feel like all in a good mood today.
Well, we're in a good mood because the Browns play on Sunday.
Yeah, among other things. Among other things, you know.
I mean, like Monday we might not be in a good mood.
Oh no, I don't think we'll be in a good mood.
Leading up, you know.
All right, but how about this? We're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey. As has been well established in this newscast, two Browns fans, Bob's the Jet fan.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of us is happy on Monday.
I hope I hope one of us is, but I doubt either of us will be. I don't know. Guarded optimism for our teams. We're looking at good visibility this morning. Of course, fog was a problem last couple of mornings. Not so this morning, 10 miles, but maybe some fog across the eastern shore if you're headed towards D.C., foggier there. We're looking at mid-60s out the door, inland areas, so just a light jacket, and then 60s to low 70s at the beaches. Calm winds, a little bit of a breeze along the coast, and the coast is clear, and we're looking at quiet conditions. We are seeing maybe a little bit of fog, maybe towards the Bay Bridge, Baltimore, back through D.C. right now, but that will quickly burn off the sunshine and a warm southwesterly flow. Futurecast is 7:30, showing the 60s, eventually into the 70s by noon. 83 Salisbury and low 80s inland with 70s at the coast, and a good-looking beach day, breezy. 78 Bethany Beach, 76 in Dewey Beach with mid-80s inland areas. Good-looking evening on the way, and make sure you stay hydrated. It's going to feel hot with low 90s with the humidity this afternoon. 80s at the coast, and for the kiddos at the bus stop, 65 off to school, dry and mild. Probably a good idea to give them a big jug of water to stay hydrated. And heading home off the bus, warm and breezy with sunshine, 88, and then they're going to want to jump in the pool with that heat and humidity. Changes into the weekend, maybe some strong storms. More on that coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Satellite from the Cooperative Institute for Research in the Atmosphere shows several swirling cirrus clouds above Hurricane Kiko's eye. Observed in the eastern Pacific Ocean, Kiko has now strengthened into a powerful Category 4 storm, according to the National Hurricane Center. Forecasters expect the storm to veer west-northwest by today, with its forward speed gradually increasing over the weekend as it tracks eastward towards Hawaii.
We have developing news out of Cambridge. A suspect is shot dead after he was shot by a police officer. We're going to show you where this occurred. According to Cambridge police, officers responded to the Deep Harbor development around Seaway Lane and Riverview Wharf, and they say there were reports of a man chasing a woman with a knife. And this information was made available to us about 9 last night.
And here is what we are learning from the Cambridge Police Department. Officers found the man and tried to de-escalate the situation. They say he refused and made his way towards the officers. According to police, after several warnings, an officer shot the man. Life-saving measures were then taken. The man was flown to Tidal Health Peninsula Regional Medical Center in Salisbury, where he later died. And this is a developing story. We will provide updates when more information becomes available. And we have a full article about this on CoastTV.com.
Today, there are fewer lifeguards in Ocean City compared to just a few weeks ago, and according to the Beach Patrol, only a third of their staff remains.
As Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us, we're just days away from the whistles on watch going quiet.
During the busy summer season, it can be hard to find a good spot to enjoy the sun and the sand. But post-Labor Day, as big crowds start to drive back home, there's plenty of space to pick a spot and enjoy the waves. That's something John Bailey and his wife do every year to celebrate their wedding anniversary.
I'd rather have it this way. The busy crowds, just too much sometimes.
But just like the crowds, around 2/3 of the lifeguards have already left their post. That means the 1/3 still on duty have a lot more area to cover. If you are planning to go to the beach in Ocean City soon, you might see a lot of lifeguard stands unoccupied. That's because according to the Ocean City Beach Patrol, a lot of their lifeguards have gone back to school. And while some is better than none, if you're going to head into the surf, it's safer to be in the view of the lifeguards that are still around.
If you're going in the water, I believe they should be here. You should be here with the lifeguards. If you're a really good swimmer, but you never know with the currents nowadays.
If you're trying to thread the needle of a late season beach trip with lifeguards still on duty to provide added safety, time is running out. According to the Ocean City Beach Patrol, the last day lifeguards will be on duty will be Sunday, September 21st. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
The Delaware Division of Motor Vehicles says a new registration fee for alternative fuel vehicles will take effect October 1st, 2025. Officials say the fee is in addition to the standard annual vehicle registration fees and applies to electric, plug-in, hybrid, and other alternative fuel types such as hydrogen, natural gas, and propane. Payments can be made starting October 1st. Failure to pay by November 1st will result in denial of all DMV services. According to DMV officials, the fee will help contribute to the cost of road maintenance and improvements.
Delaware also making history, becoming the first state in the nation to partner with OpenAI on a new certification program. Governor Matt Meyer created a new Office of Workforce Development earlier this year, and that office will now lead the rollout of AI training and certification in school job programs and workplaces. We have a full article about this on the Coast TV app and on CoastTV.com.
Well, make sure you buy your Powerball tickets because the jackpot has jumped to a $1.7 billion prize. That is because no winner matched all 6 numbers in Wednesday's drawing, according to the Multi-State Lottery Association. The next drawing is tomorrow night. It will be the 3rd largest jackpot in U.S. lottery history. Your odds of winning are about 1 in 292.2 million.
I have a heads up for you. If you still receive a check in the mail for your federal benefits, the Treasury Department is phasing out its use of paper checks for Social Security payments at the end of the month. The plan will also impact the use of paper checks for veteran benefits and tax refunds, and these benefits will get paid out electronically. The government says paper checks are costly and they're more vulnerable to fraud and theft. You can sign up for a direct deposit, and the Treasury also offers Express Direct Debit MasterCards if you prefer that. And we still have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, fire at marijuana facility. We'll tell you about the building recently visited by Governor Matt Meyer in July.
Also, Eagles on the run. How the ground game propelled the Birds to an opening night win over their hated rival, Dallas.
And solar opportunity. Georgetown homeowners could get a chance to add solar panels. How a new battery would make it possible. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Just about 6:40 on our Friday morning, and beautiful conditions. Red sky in Laurel, 62 right now. Sun's coming up. Not seeing any fog, but that doesn't mean we can't see a little bit of fog out there. But most places looking good with 10 miles visibility and temperatures in the mid 60s, but low 60s in Laurel right now. 62, 63 in Del Mar, and 60s close to 70 at the beaches. Calm winds, a little bit of a southwest breeze at the coast, and that will warm us up today as we're looking at clear skies. If you are headed up towards the Bay Bridge or DC or Baltimore, looks like they are looking at a little bit of fog. Otherwise, it's going to feel like summer this afternoon. So make sure you have your water. Stay hydrated for sure. As the golf forecast is a warm one, and it's going to be humid as well. 88 and feeling like low 90s with the humidity. And congratulations to Jim Schmitz from Milton on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Georgetown homeowners may finally get a chance to go solar. Right now, too much solar energy can overload the local grid, so no panels are allowed. So Delaware Electric Cooperative tells us they have plans to fix that by adding a large battery to the Bruce Henry Solar Farm. It would store extra energy when the sun is shining and release it when demand is high, keeping the grid stable. That means about 100 homes could soon install solar panels.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans, and fly, Eagles, fly. The defending Super Bowl champs were in action Thursday night. America's team came into town trying to play spoiler on Super Bowl banner night. The drama in this game, it started early. Before the first offensive snap was even taken, Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter was ejected for spitting on Dak Prescott. You can see Prescott there. Looks like he spit on the ground, but then Carter spit right on him back. So the Eagles started this game shorthanded before it ever even got going. But early in the first quarter, Cowboys are driving. Dak Prescott with the play fake, looking for his favorite target. He finds CeeDee Lamb inside the 2. And the next play, Javonte Williams takes the handoff up the middle for the score. His first touchdown as a Cowboy gives Dallas an early lead, but the Eagles would respond. Here's Jalen Hurts to Will Shipley on the screen pass, and Shipley's got plenty of room, taking off down the sideline, finally tackled inside the 6. The Eagles are set up in range. Then on 3rd and goal, the Eagles, Hurts drops back, plenty of time in the pocket, scrambles, nobody's open. Hurts scampers in for 6, and the Eagles tie it up at 7 late in the first. Then in the second quarter, Eagles trailing 14-7. Hurts is going to change that. Nobody open in the end zone, so he takes off for the pylon, and Hurts dives in for the score. His second rushing TD of the night. The Eagles are rolling. Next drive, Eagles down 17-14. Just give it to Saquon and let the man do the rest. Barkley powers into the end zone to put the Eagles up for good. They'd go on to win on opening night 24-20. That'll do it for sports. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN, Elisa, set your DVR for 6 because it's Nittany Game Week.
Thank you for reminding me.
That's what I'm here for. 6:30, we have Down and Distance. 7 o'clock, Scoops and Scores. And then at 7:30, we got live high school football, Parkside visiting Del Mar. Final score at 11. Over on the DSN Plus app, you get that Del Mar Parkside game along with these exclusives. Check out this full slate here. 6 o'clock, Ken Island at Cambridge, South Dorchester. And then we have 3 games at 7. Rising Sun at Queen Anne's, William Penn at Cape, Dover at Appoquinimink. And Sunday Night Football's back. You can watch the Ravens take on the Buffalo Bills right here on Coast TV at 8:20.
Movies news now with an international flavor. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
You have to have fun with it.
Jason Momoa is getting his Street Fighter on. He'll play Blanca in a live-action adaptation of the classic video game franchise. The cast also includes Curtis 50 Cent Jackson as Balrog and David Dastmalchian as M. Bison. Street Fighter, the first film in a deal between Legendary Pictures and video game company Capcom, is due in IMAX and other theaters October 16, 2026.
You want to rub your hands together like this? You can tell me what choir's about. Singing? Yeah. Batia! Tosofa! Okay, that's a work in progress.
A grieving mother draws on her Samoan roots, teaching elite, mostly white New Zealand private school students in Tina. She and her choir defy expectations, make connections, and discover what's possible when they encourage and celebrate each other. Tina is in theaters today. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Happy Friday, Coast Life, and as you're planning out your weekend events, we've got some more details for you about our Shore Living Expo. Also, because it's Friday, look at these sweet little faces. Well, they are a bonded pair, and they are ready to go home, and maybe your home is the perfect place for them. We're also going to be chatting with some folks about why now is a great time to buy an electric vehicle. If maybe that's been something you've been thinking about, you've been on the fence, off the fence, well, maybe this is the last little piece of information that you need to complete that puzzle. All that fun and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life.
Live look into Cambridge right now, seeing blue skies, maybe some fog, especially towards the D.C. area, but any kind of fog burns off to summer heat and humidity. That will intensify today into Saturday, and we're watching for strong storms possible later Saturday with a yellow alert, then cooler and cloudy Sunday. Your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is now 6:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. And Bob, we have a beautiful sunrise there in Lewis. It's another reminder to wear your sunscreen, Matt. As we can see, these sunny, warm days. I'm just looking out for you, Matt. Bob, you know, we haven't had these hot temperatures in a while, so also drink lots of water.
Yeah, and Elisa, doesn't that sun just look a little hotter? I mean, it just looks like, you know, it's going to be one of those days, and it will be with summer-like warmth for sure. And you're going to need that sunscreen too. So that higher SPF sunscreen is in order the next couple of days. Today through Saturday, it's warm and breezy, highs in the 80s, feels like temperatures low to mid 90s. And then we have to be weather aware tomorrow evening for the potential of strong storms. More on that coming up. And then a cloudier Sunday and cooler too, with highs into the 70s. Right now, pretty comfortable out there for the kids catching the bus or folks just heading out and about. Make sure you have a windbreaker. 64 Millsboro, 66 in Georgetown, 65 in Milton, Lewis, and Rehoboth, 69, 71 in Ocean City. No wind inland areas and just a little bit of a breeze at the coast. And of course, the last couple of mornings, fog was an issue. I think we're okay for the most part across Del Mar, but maybe a little bit of fog heading towards the Bay Bridge, D.C. and the Baltimore area. Otherwise, we're looking good today, nice and quiet with sunshine. We've got one front back to our west and another stronger one across the Midwest. The season's first snowflakes falling into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Really cold air behind this front, and I think this front will be the trigger for some storms tomorrow evening. But we're in good shape today as we're warming through the 60s into the mid 70s by 10 a.m. By noon, lower 80s inland areas and a good-looking beach day, mid to upper 70s, some low 80s at the coast. By 4, about 85 in Rehoboth, 76 in Fenwick Island with mid 80s inland, some upper 80s too, and very mild and muggy for this evening, but clear skies overnight. And then into Saturday morning, a mild start, temperatures near 70, and then we're warming up close to 90 mid-afternoon, and then heads up into the evening hours. After 5 p.m., we're watching the clouds moving in showers and storms, heavy rain, maybe large hail, and maybe some damaging winds with this as we go into the evening hours. And then following that into Sunday morning, it's cloudy, it's cooler with some drizzle during the day. A much different scenario on Sunday as temperatures struggle to get out of the 60s, and we're looking at cool conditions into Sunday evening. This green shaded area, Salisbury, Dover, Easton, and Crisfield, is a marginal risk for damaging winds and large hail as we go into Saturday evening, so keep that in mind. And feels like temperatures away from the coast, lower 90s today, 80s at the beaches, so make sure you have that water handy. Feeling like mid 90s on Saturday and 80s at the coast. Actual temperature 88 in Milford today in Millsboro, about 85 in Rehoboth, Eastern Shore 83 in Cambridge, Federalsburg 88, and Berlin and Ocean City both at 88. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. We're in the upper 80s the next couple of days. Then that yellow alert for Saturday evening for maybe some stronger storms. Sunday, cloudy, cooler 72. Then it's Sunday night football with the Bills and Ravens. And then it's cooler mid 70s next week and staying dry. That could become a concern with overnight lows in the 50s.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now, we're learning about a fire that took place yesterday morning in Milford. This occurred at the First State Compassion Marijuana Cultivation Center. This is the same facility that Delaware Governor Matt Meyer toured at the end of July. That was right before the recreational marijuana market opened in the state. According to run logs, it was just after 8 a.m. that the Carlisle Fire Company, Ellendale, and Frederica Volunteer Fire Companies responded to the fire. We do not have details about the extent of the damage. It's almost time to celebrate all things that make Delmarva a great place to live. Everyone is invited to the Shore Living Expo featuring local vendors, live demonstrations, and more. It's all happening this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center in Salisbury.
And the time is now 6:52, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And like we do on Fridays, the coastal pet is brought to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. On your screen is Sylvester. Sylvester is a cute and playful pup. Love that picture of Sylvester there. He's playing. If you want to adopt Sylvester or any other lovable pet, just head to the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Also, get this, the organization's still looking for the perfect pictures for its 2026 PAWFECT, that's P-A-W-F-E-C-T, just want to make that clear, PAWFECT calendar contest. To register, just head to the BVSPCA website.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yeah, there's a QR code at the top. Scan that, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:55, and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. We are learning about a fire yesterday morning in Milford that occurred at the First State Compassion Marijuana Cultivation Center. This is the same facility that Delaware Governor Matt Meyer toured at the end of July. That was right before the recreational marijuana market opened in the state. According to Run Logs, it was just after 8 a.m. The Carlisle Fire Company, Ellendale Volunteer Fire Company, and Frederica Volunteer Fire Companies responded to the fire. We do not have details about the extent of the damage.
Post-Labor Day in Ocean City, got a number of the town's lifeguards returning to school. That leaves the beach patrol with a limited staff. According to the patrol, only about a third of their staff remains at this point. And due to those numbers, the stands are further apart. The beach patrol reporting 24 stands are staffed for today.
And the time is now 6:56. We're going to take another look at our warm forecast.
Bob, let's have ourselves a Friday.
Let's do it. We're headed into the weekend, and it's looking fantastic and feeling like summer. Stay hydrated, dress for summer today. There will be a breeze, but it's going to be a muggy breeze with upper 80s with sunshine, and with the humidity, feeling like low 90s inland areas and mid 80s at the coast. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Saturday, partly cloudy. I do have a yellow alert in effect for the evening for strong to possibly severe storms, maybe hail and maybe damaging winds with that. So watch it. And then Sunday, cloudy and cooler, 72. We've got Sunday night football with the Ravens and Bills. And then we head into next weekend looking pretty quiet with a mix of sun and clouds, and temperatures pretty much below average, kind of cool into the 70s. We need the rain. I don't think we're looking at a lot. In fact, it stays dry and cool into next weekend with overnight lows in the 50s.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Friday morning, everybody.